Ooh, this is a good way to start the show right here. Let's just grab that audio, and that'll be the new. While this thing is on the screen, just
Mixing your drinks.
Shaking some
mixing your drinks right now.
We got it mixed. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. It's time for a little home service happy hour. Oh, Jai, why don't you hit us with some intro? Should we do some intro music?
Welcome to Happy Hour, brought to you by Best Damn Bookkeeping.
Woo! Oh, my camera just went all green.
Oh, Michael's here.
My computer's lagging like a dog. There we go. Now we're in the house. Was I the only one lagging, or are you?
No, that was me lagging for you.
Thanks. Yeah, you did really good. That was a good. That was like when you fake kung fu talk. You were like fake lagging. It was good. So like your smile went at real speed though. So your body.
You just hanging out with Jai? What's going on?
Yeah, we're just hanging out with Jai Guy. I was just gonna monologue until you showed up, but I actually have a topic that I think you would like today. So I think you're the right guy to be here.
I saw you slayed some turkeys. Is that what we're talking about?
We could talk a little bit about slaying turkeys. That was pretty cool. I always like to draw the comparisons between hunting and business stuff, and it's awesome in business when we like work hard, and we might have like failure after failure after failure, and then when we get some success, it's that much cooler. And that's been like me in turkey hunting. Last year, the first 3 times I went, I called in birds and missed them. And then the 4th time I got one, but it was like a little Jake, just like an immature Tom, but it was like the last weekend of the year. This year, Danny and I went out once, missed a really nice Tom. She did with her tag. And then I went with my buddy Bryce, and I missed one, a long poke. So technically I was like 0 for 2 on the season. And then Danny and I went out together, and we had birds and turkey hunting is just fun because they're like talkative. They're gobbling all over your place, and so you kind of know where they're at. And then they shut up once they get on the ground because they don't want to die. Like they don't want something to come and eat them. So like after they fly out of the trees, then they usually shut up unless they're like trying to call a hen in or whatever. And so these 2 toms came running in on us at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And my tag, the adult tag, like, I guess I don't know what else to call it besides an adult tag, because otherwise it's a kid's tag. So I guess mine's an adult tag. But like my tag is good for a week. And so, and Danny's, my daughter's, is good for 6 weeks. Like they get the whole season, which is super cool. But so I was going to shoot the first bird that came in, and we didn't know 2 birds were going to come in. But so I shot the first bird, and like the pecking order, this is where you get to see the pecking order at play. Birds are just dinosaurs. And turkeys, when you look at them real close, you're like, oh, damn, that thing is a freaking dinosaur. And so shot that first turkey, and the one that was still alive proceeded for the next minute to beat the shit out of the dead turkey. I mean, like stomping on it, and they had huge spurs. So like ripping it up and stomping on it and pecking at its eyes, and then picking its head up and smashing its head into the ground. It looked like I was watching a UFC fight, where like one guy knocks down the other one, but then the ref eventually like pulls him off.
Nobody stopped the fight.
There's no ref there. So for like a minute, the one turkey's just beating the hell out of the other turkey. And granted, like I just shot the other one in the head, so it's dead anyway, but they're birds, right? So they have like nerves going for days. Danny couldn't get a shot at it. Like there were a couple chances, but she didn't feel like she was on it. And mostly its butt was facing us, and you got to shoot him in the head. And also it was beating the shit out of our turkey that was already dead. And so I told her not to shoot because I didn't want to get a bunch of BBs into the already shot one. And so the bird that was dead like flailed, and the other turkey like ran 30 yards away like it was going to leave. And I think we spooked it because Danny and I were like whisper yelling back and forth. We were all jacked up, and we were trying to shoot a second one. But this bird was just so like in tune to beat the shit out of this dead bird that it came back in, and then we shot it. So we got a double up. I've never
done. That's some advanced hunting when you just know like you're not trying to get BBs in the other one because you're gonna ruin it. So let's just wait and shut up.
Yeah. I mean, like we hunt for meat, so I don't want to spoil the meat. Got to make tasty stuff out of it. Got to make some wild turkey nuggets and some soup probably. That was fun. It's cool when your kids start to get into the stuff that you like secretly isn't a parent. Like we all tell ourselves of like, we just want our kids to be happy and we just want them to do what they want to do and we want to support them. But you know, when your kids get into what you're into, you're like, well, hell yeah. You know, you're a little extra jacked up.
Well, our mutual friend, Matt Matheson, shout out to 5-Star Painting and Power Washing in Jacksonville, Florida. He's like a world-class boar hunter. So I was like, I'll go smash some wild boars. I feel like
he's always taunting me with like pictures of dead pigs because I've yet to kill one. I've never killed a pig. So I was like, man, I'm coming. Michael and I are coming.
He's invited us. Yeah.
Michael and I are coming down. We're going to do it. How you doing, man? What you got going on?
Good. Today's my last day with Conquer, man.
I heard that. How's that feel?
It's weird. It's really hard to say goodbye. Like it's super hard. Like in the moment, you're like, all right, I gotta leave, and then you're like, okay, and then you have to have that email going out to saying, hey, you got to go find a new coach, and then you have to have the call, and it's just like one of the guys. Another shout out, Trevor Cook, Shine Bright, San Diego. For 6 years, literally the first call I ever had with Conquer. First call number one. Hey, my name is Michael. I'm with Conquer. Super nervous. Never like coached outside of franchises before. And I meet Trevor. Lives in San Diego. We're lifelong friends. Came over, cooked the tomahawk ribeye a couple weeks ago. So that's pretty cool. But
Trevor's
it's like, man, what do you do after 6 years of working together? It's wild.
It's how I felt when I had to leave Blue Skies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you were there with me for like the whole. You were actually the catalyst to me eventually leaving.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah, come on now.
not to dump on you or give you the credit, but like you gave me as a coach, right? You like helped me think through the rationale of like what I was feeling and what I was trying to do. But yeah, when you leave a thing that you've like staked a thing in the ground that I represent this, it's weird to be like, oh, I guess like I got to leave my baby. You know, I got to leave this thing that I've like poured my heart and soul into.
I've been working with a new coach and coaching cohort for the last couple of months. And I heard the analogy of like, and I've been saying like, hold my blanket, because we all get into this spot. You were there with Blue Skies, right? It's just safe. It's easy. It's comfortable. I got my team. I got the lead gen. I got the radio show. I got all the things, right? And you get to this point where you just feel safe and secure, but you know you don't want to stay there forever. And so like this blanket becomes like a metaphor, and it's a weighted blanket. It's holding you down because you know where you are is okay. But if somebody just holds your blanket, then you can just go to that next phase, and then they get to hold that flashlight while you grow. And so I got somebody holding my blanket right now, and it's super scary.
That's a funny, like childish metaphor, but I can definitely picture it because Crosby, when we get him out of his crib, he's like, hold my bear. Okay, now give me my bear back.
There you go.
He's got his bear, and he actually has two blankets. That's how stuck he is. Like when you put it in bed, I need two blankets. Like, all right,
Rob, did we just see Rob take a sip of a Coors Light?
I don't think so.
No, but I had to update my thing. Is that sipping on bourbon was my description for the last time I was on. I was like, not sipping on bourbon.
Not while driving.
Future Rob will be sipping on
bourbon. Rob.
This Rob is not.
Tonight, Rob will be doing that. Yeah.
Well, congrats, Michael. It's cool to transition. Scary to transition, but cool.
It's scary. But I've been doing the fractional CMO stuff, and it's taken too much time now. I couldn't believe the reception that had. It's great. I'm up to 9 people now.
Yeah. Well, the way you're doing it too, I was actually describing this to somebody else because you and I have had this conversation about like I don't bill my time enough. And you bill well for your time, and you should.
Now in the last 12 months coaching.
Yeah. And so I grapple with that because like and there's no right or wrong here, but my logic has always been is I never want to I don't want to bill for my time because I don't want to trade my time for money. And I'm not scalable, and so therefore I like default to not billing it because it puts in a habit of like me having to create things that bill for my time to make money. And so I want to always treat my time like it's free and bill the shit out of my employees' time, like make sure they're the ones that are doing the thing and build the thing. So that way I only get to spend my time on shit that I really like to do and not stuff that I have to do because I'm not billing for it anyway. So I don't have to do it.
Yeah, but it's still a limited resource. Like you only have so much. And I can say the people that pay Click Call Sell or Michael the most money are the ones that I think are the most grateful, which is ironic. Yeah.
But the turkey's not grateful that I shot it in the head. Or maybe it is. Maybe it's good to be out of its misery. But like nobody paid me to go hunting. I just did it.
Yeah. Well, I'll pay you for some of that jerky.
Pounding it, you just collected the bounty.
Yeah. Yeah. I paid with a handful of misses and some turkey shells and a new gun for Danny and a try. Yeah, I guess I did pay. I paid. They didn't pay me. I paid. So it was a little different. But I think that's I want to get into metrics, but that is and I don't have a metric on that, but that is like a strategy of mine is to add as much value as I can to support the other thing and not have billing ever tied to me. Unless I'm like building something. If I'm tactically like executing on something, then I end up billing it. But if I'm just like sitting here BSing, talking to people, I don't generally bill that. Which is probably different too in what I'm talking about and what I'm working on with them. You're doing more hands-on stuff. You're actually doing things. I'm just yapping. I'm just a yapper. Rob, what you got going on? What are you up to today?
Just driving around doing estimates, man.
There you go.
We are dead right now, man. Like I don't even get it. Like I'm doing estimates. Granted, it's all the pollen stuff too, but it's been weird. We're saying metrics. I looked at last night, like it's felt slower. This month will finish $3,000 below last April. Dude, it feels like we're like half what we did last April. And I don't, I just clearly I'm learning off on what we did last April, but metrics wise too, we're like, I don't know, down like 25%, 20% in leads. Just kind of crazy.
Is it just less leads, but they're just converting better because they're ready to go, or because you're the one?
I haven't looked at it as detailed. I think we did have some of our commercial work that was this month, so like that's kind of skewing it. So I got to look at March and April combined. But yeah, man, it's been. We've got a decent number of techs, and we're trying to keep them busy, and we're shifting one guy over to sales, and we got another guy that we're shifting over to kind of foreman, service manager position deal, and dealing with usual personality conflict sometimes with people.
Naturally.
Yep.
Yeah,
but from
our newsletter for the month for our Click Call Sell. And we have 220-ish people right now we're doing ads, websites for, and everything. And it's all across the board in the country. Some people are just doing fine, great, better than ever before. Other parts of the country are struggle bus, man. Like it's like there's parts of Florida right now that are 60% down in search volume year over year. So then we have other markets, Charlotte blowing up, going absolutely bonkers. So it's hard to say like one thing or another.
Do you see any, like, are you at that level? Are you seeing anything that's like why Charlotte's blowing up? Why Florida's down?
No, because we only see like the auction insights for Google Ads and the amount of money people are spending in ads and things like that. But we can't actually see like local economic factors going on. Like you're near the DC area. We've got a couple of clients like within probably 3 or 4 right within 30 miles of DC. They had a really slow start because of all the the turmoil going on with government jobs and people just being afraid. But other than that kind of thing where you just see, but I don't have any sort of data explaining like why it would be good or bad in the market other than speculation.
Trevor Steele checking in. What's up, Trevor?
Yeah, well, that's the hard part. That's the hard part is like trying to figure out like what's going on. And the only thing that we've seen more and more competition. And what's interesting, I was telling my staff, like there used to be, people like who to call for power washing, and like we'd get tagged 8 or 9 times. There was another company, 2 other companies that would typically be tagged multiple times, and then it'd be like 5 to 10, people pretty much self-tagging or like, let me tag my brother or my spouse that they can take care of power washing. Mm-hmm. And I've seen a couple posts in the last week with 70+ plus comments, and I scrolled through it, and we might have been mentioned like twice, but it was like 45 different companies, and it always cracks me up with those too. It's like, y'all, once you've already seen that there's a dozen companies tagged, just stop. Just stop.
Yeah.
Either start liking the ones that have already been tagged that you like, or just don't say anything else. Like, this is obnoxious now when there's, that many comments, like, and that person's buried in messages for estimates. And
Yeah. Michael, you mentioned Florida, and I was talking to Bobby's team today down outside of Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a thing that they noted is just like, man, it just seems a little bit slower. And I don't know if it's Florida specific, but it sounds like they have a pretty bad drought going on too in Florida, like compared to what they usually have. And so they're like, especially on exterior cleaning stuff, the humidity and stuff isn't there. Oh, where's Trevor at? Let me get
Yeah, well, the insurance, like, the thing, what I'm hearing is like it's harder to get insurance. Insurance companies are dropping people. Interest rates, there's not a lot of movement in households. The drought is making it so things aren't getting as wet. There's like 3 or 4 factors going on, especially along the west coast of Florida, where Fort Myers, like, they haven't even recovered all the way from getting smashed by hurricanes.
Yeah.
Dan, I got you. I'll be sending Trevor the link.
Hold on, I got him. I already did it.
You do?
Oh,
Yeah, well, because Mike was talking, so I was just multitasking.
beat it up, Jai.
Okay.
Beat it up.
It's in your email, Trevor. It's in your email. I can't send it to you on Facebook because I don't have Facebook.
See, I got you. I'm on Facebook. So.
Jen's working her ass off, but she got, like, the initial roadblock was the same thing I ran into. That's like, unless it's a business page, they're like, no. But she said she might have another way to do it.
Yeah, we got Jen's amazing. Just trust Jen.
She's gonna figure it out.
It's served me well over the years.
She's gonna.
Yeah, we've been talking about that constantly, me and Jen. So don't worry, we're trying our best.
It's weird not being a Facebook person anymore. Although I'm not gonna lie, I don't miss Facebook one bit. Like, it's reaffirming that I'm not a social media dude. I truly am, like, out there just for the relationships and business side of it. But I definitely don't use it personally, and I'm a happier person when I'm never on it. Like, I just am. Mostly because then I'm just turkey hunting and not, like, scrolling on my phone at the same time. Like, I'm just out killing birds. T-Bone, did you see all my double up? Did you see my double up?
I saw that. Very
Crazy.
Impressive. Very impressive.
Not that impressive. Shot one, and the other one just couldn't help but keep beating the shit out of the first one until eventually we got a shot at him too.
Yeah, the untold truth about turkey hunting. It's not that hard.
It's really not that hard at all.
It's not that hard.
It's not hard at all, but it's super fun.
Michael Gregory, what's up, my friend? It's been too long.
I'm so glad to see you, Trevor. I haven't stopped smiling as I saw your handsome face.
Thanks, brother. What happened to Rob? Rob's gone.
He's glitching. He's
I
on
kicked
the
him
road.
out. Sorry, Rob.
It's all right.
Rob's anti 5G. He's still stuck on 3G.
He's just blurry. Sasquatch Rob.
So y'all are talking about local markets and how they're functioning right now. But
What are you seeing? What are you seeing?
We're hitting record numbers, dude, with less technicians than usual. So it's just been April's been insane.
See, it's crazy. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah, we're doing awesome.
Dude, can I just brag on Fred Hodge for a second? Did you see him posting? He's like, we're about to close out $433,000 in a month.
I can hardly hear what Rob's saying. Rob,
somebody's going to close $430,000 in a month. It's probably a trend.
Fred Hodge.
Yeah, I saw that. Fred Hodge. Yeah,
beast.
Yeah, that's their target. I think they're off by like 25K if I remember right. So they're trying to hit that for April. Yeah, pretty impressive.
It's a huge monthly number. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. He's gone.
But you know what the question is, right? How many technicians? What's the profit? What's the efficiency? What's it? Really
Fred runs a pretty tight ship. I bet he's doing pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't so I got to know Fred when we went ice fishing. I think it's clear, Fred, who the brains are in your relationship I hope you're watching, Fred.
Or at least your wife is.
Honestly, where he is, that's an amazing market. Because my days back in Window Genie, there's a multi-7-figure Window Genie owner. I think Brian Haggerty serves that area. Like, I personally know 3 7-figure washing companies, like all in that area. I don't know of many markets. I know multiple 7-figure that are serving like within 7 miles of each other, 10 miles of each other.
And that's mostly Windows.
Well, the Window Genie North New Jersey is doing. They're doing a lot of washing
and all this stuff.
I mean, they're not nearly as sophisticated as you are, but they're washing.
Who? Me?
Not me and Dan. There's only one person here doing washing.
I washed the thing this one time and I oxidized the shit out of it. And I was like, somebody take this gun out of my hand. I got to get back behind a computer. This is scary.
Yeah, I remember in 2023, I went to Washington State to visit Justin Noggle, Sky Power Wash. And I was like, can I touch your rig? And I was like, first time I ever touched a soft wash rig. There we go.
Check that off.
Speaking of Justin Noggle, and no thanks to either of you two assholes, Justin's coming on the Boundary Waters trip since nobody else can go. So Justin's coming on the Boundary Waters trip with us.
Yeah, I don't think it's a secret. Justin messaged me yesterday, said he's speaking at the Huge this year. Congrats to Justin, man.
Oh, badass.
Yeah,
that's outside of his comfort zone for sure.
It is, yeah. But I mean,
for sure,
doing it, man. I've watched that guy grow as much as anybody I know in my own personal life.
Good for
him, man. Love to see that.
I was kind of surprised. He and I did our marathon episode, much like Trevor and I did. I don't know if when Justin and I did it, if there were as many leaks taken during the episode.
Bro, that was in confidence.
I mean, incompetence.
I'll remember that. I'm putting that in my memory bank.
Okay. But I mean, like we went the 3+ hours, the marathon episode, and I
had a 5-gallon bucket below my desk.
Yeah, dude, you crushed it.
Yeah.
Until you said something, I had no idea.
If you see me like
leaning in, I thought you were just stretching your little neck.
You could have used the microphone too.
Yeah, you couldn't hear it. I didn't know it was happening. He disguised it really well. It was
too much water.
Yeah, that's why I just.
It's called self-awareness, Dan. It's self-awareness. It's a very important
myself.
thing.
I'm like, I got a 5-gallon bucket on standby, dude. I'm ready to go.
Perfect.
I actually needed one last week, and I was going to say that
right now.
I'm gonna get back to so Justin Boundary Waters and just called it while we were on the show. I was like, "Do you need permission from your wife?" And he's like, "No, man. I'm coming." And I was like, "Well, we've been drinking a lot, so maybe I'll remind you tomorrow that he said that." But he's in. He's all about it. But I had Holly Moore on the show last week, and she has what I think might be the biggest maid service business in the country. She's doing $8 million in maid service,
residential.
There's
no way they're the biggest commercial, but residential. That's
huge.
That's nuts. And she's in Houston, which also I never growing up, I didn't realize Houston is
huge.
Absolutely huge,
juggernaut,
massive. And so they've got Houston, and they have another location in Austin. But she said, and I wonder if this has to do with some of the local market stuff. I don't know, but she had said Houston, great, they're doing fine. Austin, it's pulling teeth. And I got to imagine some of it has to do with the politics, right? Because Houston, super conservative. And so people are probably seeing the things that are going on and are like, hell yeah. And Austin, super liberal, are probably seeing
the world's
things
ending
that are going on and are thinking I'm gonna not spend any money because the world is scary right now. And so I think it's just like the stock market, right? Stocks don't trade based on reality. Stocks trade based on what people think is going to happen with them. And you're trying to guess what the future, the market price is a resemblance of what the future market price might be. People are trying to guess at it, right? So by people, I mean algorithms are trying to guess at what the price might be. And so I think that's what we're seeing in our local markets is what's the comfort level of that specific demographic in that market? And are they confident in the world or are they scared of the world?
Mm-hmm.
And because of how fast things are moving, it's sending people to the spectrums, right? It's sending people one way or the other way. instead of everybody's kind of cordial about it. Everybody's either scared or pumped. So she brought that up, and I thought that was a good explanation because it does describe, like you said, Michael, it's like one area is doing great and the next area is like as slow as it can be.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't looked at that level, but I mean, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense.
It's goofy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was thinking about you. I swear it was like 30 minutes ago, Michael. I was like, I'm going to call Michael again. He probably won't answer my phone call, but I'm going to try. And I wanted to talk to you again because I'm looking at remember I talked maybe a year ago about my performance pay model and turning that into an app.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
My performance pay model has gotten so much better and more efficient. I've created a grade system using artificial intelligence, and like it's just, I mean, it's completely changed the way we run our business, and it's so efficient and so smooth, and it's got the different. I'm trying not to change the subject completely, but it's got the, you know, you've got your efficiency financial side, like this guy makes 90 an hour on average as a payroll. Brings in this amount per, you know, you've got that grade, and then you've got the guy who always gets the 5-star reviews and always remembers to take before and after pictures. So how do you balance that? So we use like a weight
speed and quality, baby.
Yeah, we use like a weight table.
Is this, you want to build this into an app, or are you just working like through spreadsheets right now?
I want to do it desperately. And
it's gotten so much easier to build apps and just coding now just through AI. So it's a good time to start. I can tell you, tomorrow I'll be entering month 13 with the developer. I've got a really good connection for that too. It ain't easy and it ain't slow. It ain't quick, but it's definitely easier than it was 3 or 4 years ago.
Hold on. I have a name for it.
Okay.
Biz tools with a Z.
With a Z. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Hold on.
You like it?
I love it. Look.
It just came to me.
OOLZ.
Yeah, just like that, but with biz instead of fish.
I hear you.
Yeah.
He's checking availability right now. Michael's over there.
It's already gone. Sorry. Your idea is
TULZ is gone?
TULZ.
TU.
That's definitely available.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Well,
we built
a fishing brand. I just bought the domain.
Fish tools.
No, but this would be biz tools.
This would be biz tools.
That's your clothing line or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's the
fishing
thing.
Line. Yeah, okay.
We'll see. That's the we'll see line.
Yeah, that's personal brand.
That's the personal project.
Yeah, basically.
I do.
But anyway, I was thinking about you today. I was like, man, I need an integrator desperately that knows how to do this stuff. And otherwise, my fear is that I'm going to find these developers on Upwork or whatever, and they're going to charge me 30 an hour, and I have no idea. I don't even speak the language, right? So they're going to be like, oh yeah, we got 20 hours this week, and this is what we did. And I'll be like, oh, okay.
Do you have any rich friends besides Dan?
Yeah, I've got tons of rich family and friends.
Okay, so I mean,
you know that I'm a trust fund baby.
This whole concept of venture capital, you see private equity buying up these companies, super safe investment. Private equity is trying to buy a lock, right? So you roll it up, sell it, make money. Right. Venture capital is trying to hit 1 out of 10, and so you're less than 200,000 getting an integrator or a product manager, getting 1 or 2 front end back end developers. You can get a prototype and something working for definitely less than 200, probably less than $100,000. And so you get somebody that believes in your vision, what you're trying to do, and they're just trying to shoot for the moon. Every single home service company in the world would use this. So yeah, see if somebody gets you $100,000, give them a piece of it.
Yeah, brought to you by Home Service Happy Hour.
But that person needs to know how to speak the language, or I feel like we're going to get taken advantage of.
That person just believes in you because of who you are, what you've built, and the integrity you have. And you build it. You need a project, or you need a product manager, somebody who can manage understand the vision and be your integrator, but really know Scrum, which is a coding language that you know how to communicate with sprints and milestones. And then you get them to understand your vision. They manage the developer or developers, and they just get you a working prototype. And less than 6 months, you'll have something with a really good project manager. So that's what I'm saying. If you got anybody that just wants to throw in some cash to try this out, you could be on the hook for not very much at all and just try it.
How about I throw in the money and you be the project manager?
because I can't say yes to things anymore. I'm
And
trying to say no. Today's my last day with Conquer. Like, I'm saying no to things now.
Yeah, but listen to all the free time you're going to have to start a new venture with a good friend from the other side of the country. We'll take over the whole country.
I want to say yes, but I can't.
I figured if I did it live, there's a better chance that I could.
I'm red right now. I can't. I'm trying to say no. My coach would be very proud of me right now.
No, damn it.
I see. I should have done more podcasts with you. If I had just
Trevor,
done 3 or 4, but I didn't jab then right hook.
Yeah,
I
you just went straight in for the haymaker.
Damn it.
Trevor's
Trevor,
leaving now.
now you didn't ask me, but I'm in. Just to be clear, though, I'm only good for like hunting and fishing trips and ideas with zero execution. So I'm in. And actually, funny story though, because I always am pushing people towards paper performance. And back in my Blue Skies days, we built an index score like that based on speed and quality because we had production rates. And guys would get a little greedy on that and would start slipping on quality, right? And we could like reprimand them, but we needed it to impact their score that impacted how they got paid, whether it was 5-star reviews or now we have a thing called non-productive NPIs, non-productive incidents. If they got to redo or if they got to go back, right? If they leave a freaking like towel and have to go back for it. And so we use kind of both
There's
of
a
those.
penalty to that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so like then it's just finding the weighting of the two things and how do you eat it up and incentivize it. I know that Michael, whether he likes it or not, I already know he's building a thing that we could use that would do this thing. So I'm not going to say anything more about that. But Michael's already built stuff that
I know
that I want to use in reporting.
He just doesn't love me enough.
He's using it in budgeting stuff, and so we can already use it to get the data. The hard part is the CRMs all spit data out differently, and so anytime, like I built one for House Call Pro, but House Call Pro for the longest time, for like the last decade, didn't have a way to get production pay rates by employee because you couldn't get the data out of it and manipulate it. Like even when you ran it in a spreadsheet, freaking Justin Boyd himself could not get a House Call Pro spreadsheet. Like he and I worked on it together and we could not get a House Call Pro spreadsheet to be manipulatable.
He's an Excel Nazi. He's so good.
Yeah, he's crazy. But now a couple weeks ago, I built a guy a paper performance spreadsheet with House Call Pro reports. Like now it can be done, but you're always, and somebody wants one for Jobber, so I got to build that one now. Like somebody's like, there's so many people still switching to paper performance, like, and there's still more to be dialed in because the quality thing is the next thing to grab, and how do you integrate it? So I think you're onto something. People need.
Well, we might have to kick Michael out. I know he's begging to be in, but maybe it's me and you.
Yeah, he really wants to be in. We'll find a developer. We'll find a developer.
Dan's in on it. Dan's got plenty of time, like plenty. He just said earlier he gives his time away for free. So just send that link, book 10 hours. And
the only rule I have is that we only work on this when we're hunting and fishing together.
I was going to say we could write this entire thing off every time we go hunting and fishing.
Yeah,
like
this is how it's done.
It's a business meeting.
It's magic. It's magic. I do.
Yeah, I'll call you. I'll call you later in the week and we'll go over it because I really do think I'm tapped into something. Obviously, I don't think that I'm the only person in the world that's tapped into this process, but I see this thing playing out and gamifying it for your techs and making it so that it's this constant reinforcement of encouragement and success. And all of a sudden you're going to see morale improve. You're going to see average ticket go up. You're going to see upsells go up. 5-star reviews are going to triple, no question, because that's 25% of the weight value in my system. You're going to see your tips go up, your social media picks improve. I think it's just all around your bottom dollar, your revenue is going to go up. Everything, it can't go down.
So here's a question, because different industries do different things, and the weightings might be different.
Yeah.
Do you build it so that they have any say in the variables, right? If you have 4 or 5 variables,
100%, yes.
Right? They might want to.
What's important to me, it might not be important to you.
Yeah, and they might want to weight this one different than that one, whereas you got it, and so you can still like play around with the math and the allocation process too.
Yeah.
I dig it. Yeah, I think that's probably that's the first, like when we do an analysis for our clients, every single month we do an analysis, and cost of goods sold is at the top. And if it is red, I always like there's 3 things that can make your business inefficient from a cost of goods sold perspective. It's either you're not priced high enough, or you're inefficient. And this kind of rolls into the next thing, like you're not productive, which might be like you've got a bunch of people in training, or you got a bunch of turnover, or you're paying your guys hourly, so they're moving slow because that's the only way they can make more money. Or it rolls into number 3, which is you have a mismatch between the height of your desk and where your camera's located. A mismatch, Michael. But I see like cost of goods sold get off for people because they have a mismatch in how they price a client and how they pay their employee. There it is, the squirrel.
Sorry, you got distracted. I didn't. I was just listening.
I didn't get distracted. I've been rolling.
No, I love that. So say those 3 things again real quick without the description. 3 things drop. What are they?
If your cost of goods sold is off, it's either your pricing not high enough, your team isn't productive enough, or you have a mismatch between how you charge customers and how you pay employees. And that's why pay-per performance works so good, right? If you pay your employees hourly and you charge your customer based on their square footage, you have like now as the business owner, you have all the risk. If you pay your employees hourly, and it's hard to transfer that risk to the customer, right? If you pay your employees hourly, it's hard to go to Mrs. Jones and be like, "Hey, Mrs. Jones, we got you on for next Tuesday, and that'll be $100 an hour." Mrs. Jones can go, "Huh? Like, well, how long is it going to take?"
Yeah.
Not sure, right? As long as it takes my guys, right? That's hard to transfer that risk that way. But your employees oftentimes, if you're paying your employees hourly, they're transferring the risk to you. You're the middleman, and you got a spread,
and you're hoping for the best, and your tracking mechanisms are so weak that you can't even really, you can't put a true grade to a lead tech. You just are like, yeah, I think I like that one. He does great.
That guy. I like
but with this system, I'm telling you, like, this isn't bragging. I'm not saying it. I have 2 lead techs. One contributed 23,000. I'm looking at it right now. 23,000 in 3 weeks. The other's 28,000 in 3 weeks. That's 2 lead techs. And this is
one-man crews,
right? And this is not including the last 3 or 4 days, because I haven't updated it. My admin hasn't updated it yet. But I mean, we're talking about $55K for 2 people in 3 weeks, and their hours are not crazy. It's not insane. We're under our percentage of revenue because we have a target and it's built into the math. I know definitively we're efficient. Our 5-star reviews have gone up. Like, this isn't some genius leadership thing that I've all of a sudden I'm really good at leading people. No, it's just that the grading system.
Because you're terrible
works.
at it. I'm
terrible.
Actually.
I'm looking at apartments to rent in Myrtle Beach right now, so I can come just work for you. I'm trying to figure this out.
I hear you. Oh, and that's the other thing. So one of the guys has made $5,600 in 3 weeks, and the other's $4,800 in 3 weeks.
Your
That's
website
in 3 weeks.
You got a really good website cover.
It's pretty good. I know a guy.
Pretty good. I think the best part about pay-per performance, and there's so many different ways to do it, but above and beyond all, the best part about it is that everybody wins together or everybody loses together. Because when you have that mismatch between how you charge clients and how you pay employees, you are always at odds with your technicians. It always creates a I win and you lose, or you win and I lose situation. And like, that's just not good for culture, right? Yeah. And you might lose. Or they might lose, right? If somebody's losing, it sucks. But when it's everybody's winning, the customer's winning because they get great service and it's done fast. The employee's winning because they get their cut. The business owner's winning because the employee can get more done in a day when they're incentivized by getting more done in a day. It's a win-win-win. And businesses are just way more fun to win when you're like writing huge paychecks and high-fiving instead of writing huge paychecks and going, shit, like that's a lot of money.
That's actually a really good point. So anybody listening to this that is not ever run performance pay or is afraid of it, or you're doing it and have that exact same result that you just talked about, like giving high fives and when you have a big paycheck, it's a fixed percentage. If you know you're paying your techs, making this up, you want 20%, then you want to write them a $10,000 check. Like, I'm trying to write you $10K because that means I'm getting my money for my cost of goods sold, and I can pay more for marketing. I can pay more for admin. I can just do more to put into my business when I'm fixed. And so you want to encourage your techs. Tommy Mello, I love what he says. If you don't want to put a cap on your technician's production, why would you put a cap on their pay? And that just like, it's the perfect way to say it.
So I was having a conversation with a new hire today, actually, and I was explaining this whole thing because there's a learning curve. You have to convince them that this is, better than 23 an hour. And I can show them the data all day long, but until you have that conversation with them and really break it down, you can't do it. But it creates this environment of friendly competition, right? So Tech 1 might have one job left at the end of the day, and it's 3:30 p.m. and he's like, man, I if I was on the clock, I'd be making $23 an hour, so that's $46 after taxes. We're looking at like $38, and I'm going to work 2 more hours. Or he could say, I'm about to go make another $250 and work for 2 hours. That's awesome. Maybe I'll call lead tech number 1 and see if he wants to tag team it with me, because it's going to be a long day. And they split it, and they do it in 30 minutes. Right. So it's like there's some competition, but there's also like, hey, man, I'll scratch your back. You scratch my back. I don't want to have a long day. And all of a sudden you're going to see, I mean, it's just facts. The numbers skyrocket.
Yeah. It's astounding to me. Even with the same dudes on your team, because I have helped and watched businesses switch from hourly pay to performance pay, and mathematically, like, I can look at it and I can say their productivity will increase by 50%.
Yep.
And it's hard to think, like, you're telling me that my best dude is only going half speed, right? They're like 2/3 speed in that case. And I'm like, yeah, not to their detriment, right? Like, just because that's what you're incentivizing them to do. And they will have all the reasons for doing it. But miraculously, when you switch to performance-based pay, after a week or two, their productivity magically increases by 50%. And it's not,
or it doesn't, and their stress level goes up, and you realize that they were killing you all along, and they end up quitting. I've had that happen. I had 2 people quit because they knew they were never going to catch up to the other techs. So I went from four techs paying who knows what I was paying, right? I just was like, guys, just get the job done, please. I just got to get the stress off my back, to all of a sudden, okay, I know I'm below 20% in total labor costs, including workman's comp. And so it's like, it's a no-brainer. I don't know.
It's crazy.
Another fun fact about switching to performance pay commission is they become like Einsteins at math. Before, like, they never figured out how much a job cost, how long it took, never crossed their mind. You switch to commission, like, yesterday I made $37 an hour. Today I made $18. What's going on? And that's a hard conversation.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, it's crazy. You just think, like, man, you couldn't even like collect the right amount of money from a customer last week. And all of a sudden you're doing like math. What the heck?
But it's accountability all the way around too. So I tell my guys this, like, if you notice that a job is taking too long, or maybe the math just isn't working out, I want you to call the office and say, hey, I think this was underbid. Something's not right here. Maybe they didn't notice this. And all of a sudden, that accountability is not one direction anymore. It's all the way around. So your sales guy,
want the same thing.
Your admin didn't take the right information. Your CSR, your coordinator dropped the ball. Somebody somewhere dropped the ball, and you can find that in real time now, instead of 3 months later when you sat down with your CFO and he was like, hey, what happened January 28th? It's like, I don't know.
Trevor comes on and gives a master class.
Hell yeah. It is. It's astounding when you just tie people's pay to the thing that helps everybody win. Like you said, like, they become mathematicians, right? Because now everybody's fighting for the same thing. I even, when we ran window cleaning and pressure washing companies, we paid out based on when we invoiced the work, not when we collected it. Now, it only is a limitation of my damn CRM that I have right now, which Boyd recommended. I took Boyd's advice, and he's like, use this CRM, but their reporting is god awful. I can only report when we get paid. I can't report when we actually invoice people. And so as a result, I do paper performance with our account managers and our bookkeepers. They get a base, and then on top of it, at the end of the month, they get their cut. But it's based on when we collect the money. So now, not only are they concerned about how we're producing it and how we price it and is it fair, they're also now concerned about, we need to go get that money, or we got to pause this client because they haven't paid a bill. we're shutting them down. Give me a different client. Like until that client pays, I got to work on somebody else because my bonus is tied to this client paying their bill. And if they're not going to pay, then I don't get paid. So let's work on people that are actually paying. And I'm like, man, like that's great. Not having collections only fall to the admin team. Everybody is concerned about, did we do a good job? Can we justify it? Did we track it right? Did we charge it right? Or did they pay?
You know, the sales guys typically in our industry just kind of get away with murder. You know, it's like they're getting paid their 10, 12% no matter what. They don't really care. There's no reciprocal accountability. That performance pay changes that because the lead techs, honestly, we're restructuring our business to have it flow from the bottom up instead of the top down. Like the lead tech position is now the position you want in our company.
Oh yeah.
Because they have all the opportunities for the upsell, like the need for a territory manager or a regional sales guy is kind of, I don't know. I'm rethinking the whole structure, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So,
I tell people that
I'm going to message you, Taylor. I'll spend an hour with you to hang out, man. I'll send it to you right now.
Can
I get invited? Can I come?
Yeah, come on.
I want to come.
Actually, I'm going to give you the same hour Dan and I have next week on Wednesday, so we'll do that.
Perfect. That'll work. I don't care.
Wait, can I still come?
Come on, man.
This topic's great. Like it's not. You said like sorry to hijack the show, but the show topic today was metrics. And I do have one metric that I think trumps production rate, but I've been asked the question many a time of like, what's the most important metric? If you're going to track just one metric in a home service business, what would it be? It'd always be production rate because that's what pay per performance is tied to. And it tells us everything about how we're doing. I can tell who's doing
so break that down.
Bad job.
Break that down because different people have a different meaning for that.
I purely look at production rate over time of in a week, how much revenue did you create and how many hours did it take for you to create it?
Right.
And that production rate is a pure reflection on how much commission, pay per performance, whatever you want to call it, that you're going to make as a producer. And so like whether it's bookkeeping or maid service or pressure washing or landscaping or HVAC, I'm always looking at production rates.
Yeah. So in my weights value table, I have 5-star reviews is 25%. That's where most of the weight comes from because that generates our phone calls, right? The more reviews, the more phone calls, the more leads we get. Second is production rate at 20%, and then 15% for the hourly rate. So what they actually get paid per hour shows me how efficient they are. So the rest, revenues, top dollar revenue, production contributed, total amount of jobs, those things can all be affected by the coordinator, the person scheduling the jobs. So I want to be careful not to, create any resentment like, hey man, that's not fair. He had all the good jobs today. That might be true, but you also did 4 small jobs and you have 4 5-star review opportunities. So that,
I do. One of the things I found in pricing, and I try to do this with how we do bookkeeping pricing, and I talk to a lot of folks about this where they're not exactly sure how to price stuff to make it fair. Is pick the 2 to 3 most important variables that are the things accountable for creating work. So for me in bookkeeping, it's how many transactions per month do they have? How many accounts do they have connected to their QuickBooks that we have to deal with and reconcile? And then how many divisions do they have where we might need to split stuff up? Those 3 things pretty much encompass 95% of the ups and downs in the workload that we have to deal with for a client. So I tie my pricing to that. If you're in maid service, it's square footage, number of pets, number of kids. If it's window cleaning, it's how many window panes in and out, and are they storms? If it's pressure washing, it's how many stories, it's square footage, it's are we doing this? If it's roof, it's pitch, right? It's type of material, whatever. So if you pick those top 2 to 3 variables and you price it right, and this is where I think pay per performance actually gives you good feedback as an owner, is if you routinely get feedback from your team that, hey, this is a bad job, tells you you're not charging enough.
100% agree.
Again, because now the employees are like, hey, this isn't fair. Why does he get all the good jobs? And the minute you're like, he gets all, what are good jobs? They're all the same, right? Whether it's a $300 job or a $2,000 job, if you did 6 $300 jobs or an $1,800 job. It should take you equally as long.
I love that. That's a great
really
point.
Close. Really
so my
close.
guys right now, when they see gutter cleaning on their schedule, they immediately know, okay, this is a low ticket job. I'm not going to get paid very well. But what they don't see is that it's typically a 30 to 40-minute job.
Oh man,
that's a quick 5-star.
Dude, give me all the gutter cleans you got. You can be in and out of there in 30 minutes. Give me 10 gutter cleans in a day, and I will outproduce any pressure washing guy.
Well, we've got some tough architecture here, so it makes it a little bit more complicated, I think.
Yeah.
But it is more opportunities for 5-star, which is why I put so much weight on the value system for 5-star reviews. So you might have a $4,000 house wash today by yourself, and so your commission on that is huge. But you're not getting those 5-star reviews. You're lucky to get one, right?
Yeah.
So I agree with that you have to find that balance, and then you want to give the good jobs to your good people, right? Tommy Mello again. But you also want to be careful not to build resentment and eliminate the camaraderie. Yeah. You don't want to be too competitive.
You are very wise, Trevor.
Yeah, you want your employees to be their like each other's biggest cheerleaders and be like and be like, hell yeah, nice bonus check. I publish all of ours. Like everybody knows how much all the money that we have 19 employees now, or 18. We're about to hire number 19. They all know how much money each other makes, and they know how much money I make. They gotta, like, we're all in it together, right? We all need to be cheering each other on. Of like, we're growing the pie. Like if somebody gets a big bonus check, I don't want you being like, like if that happens, you're fired immediately. If you start griping about how much money somebody else is making and worrying about somebody else, get the hell out of here, right? Like control what you can control. Go do your work. Now, if you think our process is unfair, like we need that internally, we need that feedback because we got to make it as dialed in as we can for everybody. I did. This was like the perfect example of exactly what you're saying, though, is if I had to rewrite our core values back in the day at Blue Skies. And I also found they weren't my core values. They were the original dudes, my old business partners' core values. And they just weren't mine. Michael is laughing because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not money motivated. And like their core values were money motivated. Like they were. One of them was extreme frugality. Like don't spend my money. Like I'm not joking. That was one of the core values before I rewrote them. And it's not like I am frugal, but I'm not frugal to make me more money. I'm frugal to reinvest more in other people, right? Like it. So anyway, what I found was there was no core value that we had for positive attitude, and we did have a guy. One day he had the shitty route, right? He had the unfair route. And we knew it, right? He had to drive across town this way and drive across town that way. This is my favorite fucking business story of all time. He had to drive all the way across town, and good old Tony, the whole way to the second job was just bitching on the team chat. So unfair. This is bullshit. I get the shitty routes, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, Tony, we know that you're going to have shitty routes. And somebody, we got like 8 crews out today. Somebody is going to get the worst route. We have this thing where we don't get to pick where people
I'm still
live.
here.
You're here. We have this thing where people don't get we don't get to pick where our clients live, right? And we don't get to pick the time of day that they're asking us to come. And so we're doing the best we can. We're also very aware that you have the shitty route today. We were aware of it before you bitched about it for the last 2 hours to the entire team. But we were aware of it before that. Now we're extra aware of it. And we were so aware of it before that 3 days ago when we built the route for tomorrow, we gave you 2 jobs across the street from one another. So literally job 1 gets done and you don't even need to move your van. You just walk across the street. Like that's how much we know today's route sucks. So we gave you the best route for tomorrow. The next day, I shit you not, Tony was on the team chat after his first job bitching about that it's not fair that his jobs were right next to each other because he didn't have enough time to have a cigarette in between the 2 jobs because the customer's across the street with his arms folded looking over. And I was like, man, I just don't know. Like this guy just sucks, right? He's like always negative. He's always bitching. I didn't even fire him. I became Dan the therapist, and I talked to him and coached him and was trying to like teach somebody how to have a good attitude. Apparently that's impossible. I suck at it. But I had to be like a couple weeks later. I got a phone call from a client to my personal cell phone, which is rare, right? Like I had 100 employees and how many thousands of clients across the country at this time. People didn't have my cell phone number. Besides, when I started home cleaning in Minneapolis, when we started it from scratch, like my clients that I cleaned for had my phone number. And Elizabeth Daub was one of them. And we did her windows and we pressure washed her house, and Brent hung her holiday lights, and I had cleaned her house, and somebody else was cleaning her house now. But she called my cell phone, and I was like, this is just really weird that a client would be calling my cell phone. Like, Elizabeth knows the business number, and she like calls me, and I'm like, hey, Elizabeth, I kind of answer it like, why are you calling my cell phone? And she's like, Dan, I just had to bring this one right to you. Like, I know I should call the business line. She goes, Tony's out here today. And I was like, oh, actually, like, I didn't know that. Right. I don't pay attention to the day-to-day schedule stuff. Tony's out here today. And he's really struggling with the screens. And I'm like, yeah, your screen. I mean, her screens were like painted tight shut. Like they were awful to get open. But we had cleaned her windows probably half a dozen times before that. And she's like, well, Tony got a little frustrated, and I just saw him break the screen over his knee and throw in the wood. And I was like, oh no, like, I'm laughing, right? Like, how do you not laugh at that? Like, oh my God, he got so mad at a customer's house. He literally broke her screen over his knee and threw it into the woods like freaking Happy Gilmore with a rake, like just launched it. And so she was like, can you get him out of here? I was like, yeah, I can absolutely get him out. So I called him back to the office and fired him for it. But it was such a learning lesson of like, once you get the right core values and pay per performance, you can dial everything in. I didn't have the right core values at the time. The hard part with Tony was he was super productive and he showed up early every day. And so you end up like figuring out like the whole picture of it at some point in time.
But that brings up a good point too. Like I had a guy that, man, you just liked him. He made you smile. He was easy, never griped or complained, always on time, sometimes early, but never called in sick, just super reliable, but slow. He was one of those people that quit as soon as we switched. So it kind of sucked. It's like, man, I don't want to lose him, but dude, numbers don't lie. And this isn't a popularity contest. I love you to death, but
doesn't mean it's the right job for you. I can still
exactly.
You cannot work here.
Yeah.
I would tell when I was recruiting for our bookkeeping or for our window cleaning business, I would tell everybody, you need to be two things all at once. You need to be fast and good. You can't be really fast and bad, or you're going to get a bunch of callbacks, and we don't generate revenue when you get a callback. So you don't generate any pay per performance when you get a callback. In fact, with the NPIs now, you get dinged for a callback in our index. And so it's like, you can't just be fast, right? You have to do a good job or it's bad. We're going to get bad reviews. We're going to get bad service. And you can't just be good and slow, because then paper performance wise, you won't make enough money. And if you don't make enough money and I don't make enough money, then this ain't the right thing for us to be doing. We got to pay bills. And so you have to be good and you have to be fast. And I showed data over time. Our best employees quality wise were also always our fastest employees. They just were. Like, some people can do it. Some people are just really fast and can just do it. And it's like, there's a curve there, right? There's a quadrant thing, and you need people that are all the way out in box number 4, that they're fast and good. They can't be bad and slow. They can't be good and fast or slow and whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
Michael, are you doing Legos right now?
Brain teaser.
Oh, damn. Business isn't enough of a brain teaser. Well,
I know. That's what I was thinking.
Talking about things that, like, I'm listening to every word you said, and the only thing I can do is like agree.
He's got to be more stimulated. He's just more.
All right. Well, let's talk about artificial intelligence then, because I know you know.
No, we can't
more about that.
We actually can't, because our time is up. The show's over. It's a radio show. This one actually has a time limit, Trevor. This one has a time limit.
Dan is really good at being 4 minutes late for meetings, so he's really got to go.
Well, I mean, we're hitting 59 minutes on the podcast, and it's a 60.
You're crushing it, dude. Yeah, it's amazing. This is everybody that wants to do performance pay could just record that.
We'll do more on metrics next time, because I didn't even get to what I think is the most important metric. But you'll have to tune in next week.
And I'll show you what I'm building too, Trevor. You might like it. Does not deal
Sweet.
with performance pay, so there's no.
It's
conflict.
badass, but it can. It doesn't. But we can use it. We're gonna use it,
The
Trevor.
data. All right, see you guys.
Business nerds, you guys know what to do. Work smarter. Oh, Jai, play us some playout music. Jai, oh, there we go. Yeah. Business nerds, you guys know what to do. Work smarter and harder. Go earn yourself some pride. I think I'll be back on tonight. I haven't heard from my guest yet. We got a poop stupid badass on tonight. But I haven't heard, so we'll see. I gotta run. I got another thing to do, and I gotta go pick up the kiddos. Check you later. Peace.